following news of Bob Woodward's new book, Fear, Donald Trump has decided that since all these books are coming out that make me look really bad, maybe I should change laws to kind of censor people from saying negative things about me. I'm not kidding. So Trump decided to tweet about how there is a need to change our libel laws, indicating that he believes Bob Woodward has made things up in his book. Let me give you his tweet. He says, "Isn't it a shame that someone can write an article or book, totally make up stories, and form a picture of a person that is literally the exact opposite of the fact and get away with it without retribution or cost?" You know what? I do think it's a shame, Trump, someone who does this on a regular basis. Don't know why Washington politicians don't change libel laws. Now, this isn't the first time that Trump has called for a change in libel laws. In fact, he did so back in January after Michael Wolff had released his book, Fire and Fury. In fact, we have video of what Trump had to say. Let's take a look.
We are going to take a strong look at our country's libel laws so that when somebody says something that is false and defamatory about someone, that person will have meaningful recourse in our courts. Our current libel laws are a sham and a disgrace and do not represent American values or American fairness. So we're going to take a strong look at that. We want fairness. You can't say things that are false, knowingly false, and be able to smile as money pours into your bank account. We're going to take a very, very strong look at that.
So I enjoyed Rex Tillerson, former Secretary of State, who's not in the administration there, looking super uncomfortable, thinking, "Oh, when will this moron stop?" One of the reasons he left was because in that same book, they explained in other stories that Rex Tillerson walked out of a meeting, which is also in Bob Woodward's new book, and said he's an effing moron. And apparently, according to the senior administration official that wrote an op-ed in the New York Times today, everybody in the administration knows it. So, and this is an excellent example of it. The guy talked about how that Donald Trump was basically a danger to the health of our republic, right? Well, look at this tweet. "Don't know why Washington politicians don't change libel laws. I know, it's called the First Amendment." Because politicians can't shut people up from criticizing them because it is the very, very core of our Constitution and what it means to be an American. But he doesn't understand that and doesn't care about that. He thinks, and as he once famously said about North Korea, he said, "Oh, Kim Jong-un's a good guy and he's very strong. When he tells people to stand up, they stand up in North Korea. Why can't we do that here? I wish it was like that here." That's because North Korea is a dictatorship. By the way, a communist dictatorship. And we don't live in a dictatorship, we live in a democracy where we're free to disagree with you and say so publicly. But he hates that. So he's like, why don't the politicians just get together and institute corruption, where we just shut everybody up and don't let them speak against the powerful? Why don't we just do that? Where he's, in the earlier sentence, he says that people can say these things about us, politicians, and get away with it without retribution. Yeah. This guy doesn't care about America. He doesn't even understand America.
No, he doesn't. And also, there are laws protecting individuals from libel, right? From slander, defamation. And so if Trump genuinely believed that these accusations were made up, he could take Woodward to court, right? But he would have to prove malice, meaning reckless disregard for truth, bad intent. But we know that there wasn't a reckless disregard for truth. We know that Trump wouldn't take him to court because he has absolutely no merit to do that. And by the way, our libel laws, first of all, vary state by state. That's something that Trump should know. But we've had libel laws since the mid 1700s. And so the defense for libel suits or defamation suits is the truth. Right? And nothing made that clearer than the very first case in US history that I wanted to just quickly talk about because I find this stuff super interesting. New York City publisher John Peter Zenger was imprisoned for 8 months back in 1734, okay, for printing attacks on the governor of the colony. Zenger won his case and was acquitted by jury in 1735 under the counsel of Andrew Hamilton. The case established some precedent that the truth should be an absolute defense against libel charges. So he proved, no, I'm telling the truth about this person in a position of power.
Truth is a defense, and that's a sad day for Donald Trump because he's totally unaccustomed to it. Of course, the people in Woodward's book are telling the truth, and Donald Trump isn't. He's a pathological liar, or as his own personal attorney said, according to Bob Woodward, he's an effing liar and a goddamn dumbbell.
Yeah. By the way, a few other things that I want to point to. Trump, of course, loves to tweet, but a lot of his tweets don't age well. And of course, during the Obama administration, Trump had very strong feelings about Bob Woodward himself. So here's what he had tweeted back in the day. This is a tweet from February 23rd, 2013. Trump had written in regard to Bob Woodward, must-read column by Bob Woodward explaining how Obama pushed for sequestration and promised no tax increase. Oh, seems like you thought he was really credible back then. Another tweet.
Of course.
Only the Obama White House can get away with attacking Bob Woodward.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, and that ironically proves the case in Bob Woodward's book and the New York Times op-ed from a senior administration official saying Donald Trump changes his positions so frequently, no one knows what his real positions are. And because part of what it matters and what it relies on is what does Donald Trump think is to his advantage at that particular moment? Because he has no principles. He's like, Woodward attacks Obama. Me like Woodward. Woodward really credible and good. Woodward attacks me, boo. Me no like Woodward. Woodward bad.
Yeah.
I sue libel, I sue Woodward. He libel.
He was, by the way, he was complimentary toward Bob Woodward just recently, right? Prior to all these publications printing the content of the book. So Woodward is kind of like Manigault Newman, Omarosa, in that he has receipts, he has recordings. So here is a portion of a recording that he had of Donald Trump conversing with him about the book. Take a listen.
It's really too bad because nobody told me about it, and I would have loved to have spoken to you. You know I'm very open to you. I think you've always been fair, but we'll see what happens.
Oops. Me like Woodward, me no like Woodward. What did Woodward say? This is the clown in office. But all that aside, the most important thing here, guys, is we got a president who doesn't believe in the First Amendment. Of course we're allowed to criticize politicians. Of course we're allowed to talk to reporters about politicians. There's literally nothing more American than that. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.